College basketball, this guy does it well. Joining us now on the guest line, our guy, Doug Gottlieb, the head coach of UWGB men's basketball, friend of the program. Happy Wednesday, DG. Good to see you.
Happy Wednesday. Yeah, Levering's super talented dude. I worked with him. You got he and Brian. Those are two very, very talented broadcasters.
Yeah, so you would know, is BA back for the rest of the season?
Must be.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know their schedules.
Sounds
but
like
that
he
would.
knows, Trev.
He does know. He's close with me.
I don't know. I don't ask anybody else's schedule.
Yeah, you got your own to
I
figure
worry
out.
about myself. I got 16 players to worry about their schedules. And 66.
16, 17, 15. Where are we at with Justin Allen? That's a question that I know many people are trying to say, is he coming back? Why don't you ask Doug on Wednesday if Justin Allen is able to come back? It's Wednesday. You're Doug. What's the scoop there?
Well, he's part of the lawsuit again, and I may be disclosing too much, but when the season ended, he came into my office and said, like, hey, I want to come back and play another year for you. And I was like, sweet. So we went and saw Cassie, who's our head of compliance. She's amazing. And she's like, this is, again, before the 5-5 ruling passed, the age-based ruling passed. She was like, I don't see a path there, but and then we called Darren Heitner, who's the lawyer who's, who actually is leading his case in all these cases. And Darren was like, at the time, he's like, there's no case there. I'll let you know, like, you can file. And if there's when you get an appeal, then we can maybe approach, but right now there's no case. Well, you fast forward to now with the new rule, and he linked in with Darren with this lawsuit. We just don't know, because if you go back to last week, one of the rulings was, I think it was in Charlotte, was, hey, no roster limits, no cap limits, like, you're good to go. The one that seems to be sticking right now is the one in Colorado, which you can't switch schools unless you are in the portal or you graduate, and you can't. Right now, you can't do it if you've signed a professional contract. He has signed a professional contract. He's supposed to play for, I think he's playing for, no, not Eilat. He's playing in Israel. Why am I forgetting who he's playing for? I'll think of it in a second. But anyway, Ramat Gan is who he's playing for. Anyway, so the answer is I don't know. But if he plays college basketball, he's going to play for Green Bay next year.
Love it.
Doug, you were born in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. You then lived in Los Angeles for a good portion of your life.
Yeah.
The Brewers, and a lot of Brewers fans, or more Brewers fans, wanted Tarek Skubal to be on the Milwaukee Brewers. He ended up with the Los Angeles Dodgers. Where is the state of baseball, in your opinion? And are we headed for a lockout?
That's a wild doubleheader. I don't know. I doubt it in terms of the lockout, like in-season lockout in baseball. I very much doubt it.
No, I'm sorry. I meant during
the CBA.
Yeah, CBA expires after the
December
season
1st, I believe.
No, I understand. I'm saying I very much doubt that it will ever extend into the season.
I got it.
Really?
Too much. Yeah, you could have a lockout in the offseason. It's like football. They had a lockout in the offseason, and I think that they missed one or two preseason games,
they just
whatever.
Missed the Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame game.
That's all they missed.
Right. But that's the leverage point, right? You start missing games, you start missing checks. So, obviously, if you're not a Dodger fan, it sucks. On the other hand, that any great story comes with a bad guy and a good guy, and now the Brewers can be the good guy. Obviously, if you have, an elite starting pitcher to go with Miz, to go with everything else, that's what I said. Last time you guys asked me what should they add, and I said always add pitching. Right? No one ever goes like, we shouldn't add so much pitching. What are we doing? But the state of baseball is exactly what you think. There's the haves and the have-nots. The have-nots are able to be very, very competitive. And for a long time, those have-nots were able to kind of moneyball their way, some into World Series. Not always to winning World Series, but some into winning World Series. It does feel like the tide has turned, and now the Dodgers might be too good. But we still have, shortened series in the playoffs, in the World Series, which does, you think, lend itself to an upset. And the Dodgers have only won, two? Or they won 3? 2?
I think they've won 3 now.
They won 3. They won the COVID one.
Yeah.
Right? So, but, it's been a a run of like 10 years, and it's not like it works every year.
Right.
I don't hate it. And Trevor and I have talked about this before. Like, would you rather be the Pittsburgh Pirates or even my Angels, right? I grew up as an Angel guy. I grew up 15 minutes from Anaheim Stadium. And you got one World Series, great, but you're non-competitive. Or like Brewers, first team to 70 wins, fastest 70 wins in team history. You know you're going to be in the playoffs. It feels like every year. And one of these years, you probably break through. So, yeah, I don't think the state of baseball is all that bad. It looks bad optically when you have, 400 plus payroll and 70 and below $75 million payroll. But, I mean, all honesty, like I think baseball needs those big cities and big markets to be good in order to be more popular. And it also creates the good guy, bad guy, the villain effect, if you will, which tends to bring more eyes when you have those two things.
Quick follow-up to this, Tommy, real quick. So DG had mentioned to us in the past that how cool is it that the Brewers haven't won one? And we're one of the only teams that haven't had one, to which I responded quickly, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. But I actually found myself, DG, thinking about this very thing yesterday. Your comment and the fact that the Brewers don't have one. Can we continue to be Brewers fans knowing that the odds of us doing what we need to do to win the World Series is few and far between? Can we keep doing that? So you might have a point, dog in each hand.
Literally, this is so cool to watch.
They want. But if you're listening on the radio, I have two sheepadoodles. Apparently, they're starved for attention. And I got one in each hand sitting very patiently, but wanting to be petted. So,
well, at least you know where they are, because last time we talked, you were unsure where they were.
It's true. It's true.
Doug, I know you can't talk about it if you were. It's kind of a joke setup here, but have you ever thought about asking AJ Storr if he wants to come play for UW Green Bay?
We would be his ninth in 9 years. Is that what we'd be?
Nine schools in 9 years as he was granted the injunction and is intending to enter the transfer portal. Has a chance, I believe he would have to play for. So what did he's played for the SEC. He's played for the Big 12, the Big 10, and the Big East. What's the conference I'm missing there?
Horizon.
The Horizon League.
Horizon. He's missing the Horizon.
Horizon, yeah. So, but 9 schools in 9 years. Obviously, he hasn't been in college that long. Is there a problem with how like high school and AAU is set up that feeds into college? That's why it's such a big problem, Doug?
Yes. You guys, I don't know if you guys know, Trevor knows, I was an AAU coach before this, right? And this really, in many ways, on some level mirrors European basketball, on some level mirrors AAU basketball, where you'll be texting a kid and he's in and his parents are in on playing all week. And then all of a sudden they're like, something came up. And then you're warming up and you're playing a team and that same kid's on the other team. You're like, what?
Jeez.
So for AJ Storr, like, look, he's a talented player, but this is really kind of at the heart of the argument. Like, would every college coach or most college coaches, I don't know if Bill Self would want him back, would they want AJ Storr on their roster this year? Like, yeah, of course. But that's not what this college is supposed to be about, right? Like, the idea is if you can make money in college, on your name, image, and likeness or whatever, great. I honestly think that this completely destroys the whole idea of name, image, and likeness. Right? If AJ Storr had such a powerful, successful, valuable name, image, and likeness, well, then why does he need to play college basketball? Anything he can do, he go play professional basketball, he can still have that. Go play in the G League, he can still have that. He doesn't because it's not really what it is. And if it's pay for play, like the idea of college is you go to college and then you become a professional and you're on to bigger and brighter things. And the scale has what we're paying these guys is so out of whack with the reality of what they are worth on the professional market. That it's screwed this whole thing up. So AJ Storr sitting there and hasn't signed a professional deal, probably because the best one proposed to him. I don't think he's got a two-way with the NBA. Maybe he does, but it's probably to go overseas. It might be for low 6 figures, maybe, right? Which is what his actual value is. And he's not taking it. He wants to come back to college, but play against college kids, but he's not really a college kid.
But is that like because last week the argument, maybe it was 2 weeks ago, when you had said no one's talking about it, but NIL value is actually more the front of the jersey than it is the back of the jersey,
Sure.
right?
Yes.
Is AJ Storr like the anti that? Because
he is that.
He's going to get paid anywhere he goes, and he's been in all these leagues now, Doug.
Yeah, it's pay for play. Like, let's stop saying NIL.
True.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Let's stop saying NIL. It's not your name, image, and likeness. Which, by the way, if we go back to ESPN radio in the early 2000s, when people would say like, "Oh, you just, like name, image, and likeness is where the value is," and I said, "No, it's not. It's just not. Guys don't have a value out there on a market. You don't move products. Maybe a quarterback at Fernando Mendoza at Indiana after they win a national championship. Yeah, but then you're a Heisman Trophy spokesman. Just like anything else, you can do that the rest of your life. It is purely pay for play. And it gets us out of the core ideals of what college athletics is supposed to be about. College athletics is supposed to be the magic evening of the playing field for kids that get an opportunity to go to college that might not otherwise have a chance to go to college and get it paid for free so they can change their life with a college degree. We've completely gotten away from that.
Right.
Completely. And, it's really sad. And I go back to a conversation I had with Jamie Dixon, the TCU head coach, a couple weeks ago in LA, where he said, like, the worst part is they're actually not better off when they're done. Everyone he thinks like, oh, we're giving them all this money. And there are some guys that are smart. They're investing it. They're starting their second life. There are some. The biggest problem is we're creating this fictitious market that, one, never ends. They can just keep suing their way to playing. And then two, massively overvalues their talents because they're available, they're older, they're experienced, and so we'll overpay for that. And when they come out, then they get offered if $100,000 to play in Spain or $120 to play in Turkey, and they'll thumb their nose at it when anyone else who knows anything about basketball is like, that's a great first gig,
100%.
And you go from there. They turn it down. They sit here and wait, or their basketball career is just over, and they go on to the next thing, not realizing that the next thing to get to making six figures in real life is really, really difficult. So yeah, I actually will disagree with you and say he lives and breathes what I'm talking about. The name, image, and likeness has no value. If it did, AJ Storr could play in any other league and still get sponsorship deals, still get money. He can't unless he has the name of Kansas, Wisconsin, Ole Miss. Shoot, I forgot what the other school he played at.
Well, I just mean it as like, are they letting crappy players do the same thing right now as much as they are with qualified players like an AJ Storr?
we paid some crappy players. Yes, we have.
Just-
I will not name them.
Burrito, sorry.
I will not name them, but my staff gladly will if you would come to my come to our office.
all right, fair enough.
Wasn't name, image, likeness supposed to be a kid shows up at an auto dealership and signs?
Yes.
And,
Yes. Yes.
Was the language so gray area at the beginning that somebody
No,
was,
it's
we can just pay-
no. Here's again. I identified this thing, I don't know, 20 years ago. Again, just starting into national radio, which is like the name, image, and likeness. If it's Marcus Hall, okay, Marcus Hall appearing on your show and sponsored by Malat, right?
Right.
I mean, that's normal, right? That's how it's supposed to be. Or at the bar at Holmgren, at post game, Marcus Hall autograph signing, get a chance to meet Marcus Hall, and he'll pocket $1,500 or $2,000. That was the intent. The problem with that is that you go to some of these SEC, Big Ten football schools, whatever, and that same appearance, we'll give them $100,000 for it, right?
Mhm.
When it's not really that valuable, and so then they put in a system in place, and then there's what about the TV revenue? Players should get a piece of the TV revenue pie. By the way, it's very easy to knock down how players bring value to those TV deals because the TV deals are 20 years. They're set. It doesn't matter who the players are. They're set. Like it's a joke that we're not pointing out. Like it literally does not matter who's quarterback for Ohio State. Ohio State is still going to make hundreds of millions of dollars as a college football program. Now, you make more when you win, so you get the better players. I do understand that. So they do have some sort of value. But that value traditionally was paid out after college, just like anybody else in college. You go to college and you graduate magna cum laude and you have a great internship and you get a great job and you use what you've done in college to get you your first, your second, your third job. That's the whole idea of it. And that's what college sports was supposed to be about. Now we start putting money in people's pockets. And the last part that I argued a long time ago, which is proven to be correct. And look, I've gotten tons of stuff wrong, which people like to point out, and that's fine. Just point out when I get it right. Okay. I got this one right when I said, you'll always have people that'll go like, well, if the NCAA had just given them $10,000 a year 10 years ago or 20 years ago, none of this would have happened. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then 10
Because
would've turned into 15 and then
correct.
20 and 25.
Correct. Because any rule you make, people are going to try and find a gray area, go around, or just break. That's it. You know? And what they've turned to now is any rule you make, you just sue. And so the reason that I think, and again, none of us actually know. It's the craziest stuff you've ever, like, this is a daily conversation with other coaches, with our own administration. Like, where is this going to land? Like, I don't know. We don't know.
Wow.
And the theory is that if this Save College Sports Act can get passed, what it allows college athletics to do is to set their eligibility rules. And if they set their eligibility rules, then there's the antitrust legislation that's needed, so you can't go and sue and get that changed. That's why the college, like, do I think the College Sports Act is going? It's probably bad. It's probably not great. I mean, $48 million, like, dude, $48 million, we are not even in that stratosphere, let alone there's like 20 schools in the country that could be in that stratosphere. But regardless of it, the NCAA just has to, and if you don't like the NCAA, that's fine. There has to be a legislative body that sets rules that everybody operates under. And
how did the NCAA just become the biggest pushover organization too? When I guess I can't really ask you to do that.
No, I can tell you.
In a way, like, how can you just sue the league that makes the rules?
America.
Because it doesn't have antitrust legislation. That's really it. That's why Charlie Baker was hired. You know, it doesn't. I don't know. I don't know enough about it. It operated, you know, in its own entity for like 100 years. I don't think Mark Emmert did it any favors when he ran it, mostly because he was just, it's not what you do, it's how you do it. And he struck everybody as arrogant and obtuse to all the money being thrown around and whatever. And I also think the NCAA, it's a lot like one of the political parties where they won't even champion their successes. You know, they don't know how to champion their success stories. It's like all these college football coaches, you get so many people who are like, well, look at how much college football coaches make. Like, yeah, but they started in their career, usually as a student athlete. Then they were a GA. Then they were making nothing. They moved all over the country. And 20 years later, they're making a ton of money. That's like everybody else. The scale may be different, but I think anybody can get behind that as a story. And we don't sell those stories enough.
It's Wednesday between 8 and 8:45 on Inside Wisconsin, which means the Inside Wisconsin show awesomely turns into the Doug Gottlieb show. We'll continue the conversation. I want to talk to you about radio, and if you miss it, and also there's something on the non-conference Wisconsin Badgers basketball schedule that pisses me off.
Oh,
we're going to talk about that as well. Inside Wisconsin with Trevor, Luddy, and Tommy on 99.7 WNFL and YouTube.com/Inside Wisconsin. DG Doug Gottlieb on 99.7 WNFL and YouTube.com/Inside Wisconsin. DG, we love that you join us on the radio and on our stream every week. Highlight of the week in a lot of ways. My buddy Jason, by the way, just texted me and said, DG looks like Dr. Evil petting those dogs. Yes.
Didn't he have cats, Dr. Evil?
Mr. Bigglesworth.
He did.
Yeah, it was a hairless cat.
Yeah.
He's got like fluffy dogs. It's almost the exact. He's like Dr. Happy.
DG, do you miss radio, brother?
Yeah. I mean, my last crew, I was just talking to Jason Stewart the other day or whatever. I mean, you know how this is. It's like your friends. You show up every day and you talk sports and other stuff with your friends and gets everything out. So sure. I'm not gonna lie to you. I do not miss like flying somewhere and worry about, okay, where am I gonna plug in? I need a studio, blah, blah, blah. Or at times the dog days of summer, what are we gonna talk about? Although this summer, like there's a bunch of topics. Like I'm like, man, serve them up, they'd be good. But it's a lot of work to do it really, really well. And so I miss it. I definitely miss it on the 1st and the 15th. Those were good days. And I miss talking sports with my boys. But I also think that there's times in which we do the basic sports talk stuff, which I don't miss. I don't miss talking about things because the secret, especially more national than local, you got to talk about what most people want to hear, and I still do my podcast and I get to talk about what I want to talk about.
Love it.
Speaking of times when you didn't have much to talk about, how did you survive those first months of COVID on sports radio? What were the topics then besides Tiger King?
With Tiger King, but there was also The Last Dance, right?
Oh yeah,
and then there was Tom Brady too. Didn't Tom Brady? Wasn't that when he like those are the things?
It was either divorce or retirement number one of the two.
I think that was free agency.
Oh sure, okay.
Free agency because that's when he left the Patriots and went to the Buccaneers. Because remember, it was in that COVID season that he beat the Packers in front of like a half full
Kevin
Lambeau
King
Field.
playing cover 2 and he's supposed to play cover 4. Yeah.
Kevin King, what was he doing?
Dude, literally, he was playing cover 2 and he's supposed to.
Also, there was that image. I knew Aaron Rodgers was leaving. That when Tom Brady took off his helmet, and Aaron Rodgers took off their helmet at the end of the game. Like Aaron Rodgers looked like he was 50 years old, right? Like creases in his face and grizzly and whatever. Tom Brady takes it off, and it's like either he got Botox, he don't have a line in his face, got a suntan, he's going to the Super Bowl again. Like that's the guy I want to be. I want to be that guy. I think Aaron Rodgers want to be that guy too.
DG on Inside Wisconsin, December 9th, 2009. That's the last time before this coming season that the University of Wisconsin men's Badgers basketball team played here in Green Bay.
Yeah.
Green Bay beat them in overtime, 88-84, and they haven't been back since. Until this year with the exhibition game. And we're all stoked about that, super stoked. But then the non-conference schedule for the Badgers comes out. And who do I see on there? Purdue Fort Wayne on December 22nd. And you can ask these guys. I was like, what the hell?
He was mad.
Trevor wants the game to count, Doug.
Yeah.
Well, no, I just don't understand why they're willing to play them in the Horizon League in a regular season game and not us. What am I missing?
I probably could have gotten that one done, Trev. I mean, you really want you want me to break it down for you?
Well, I kind of do, yeah. I understand that having them here in an exhibition game is more valuable for us than having them play them in the regular season.
Sounds like you got it, Trev.
All right, nailed it.
Well, no. I mean, again. So here's the reality to it. Okay, so it started with the Bradley deal last year, where Brian Wardle loves this place, and he wanted to come back, take his guys to a Packers game. So we got him an exhibition game, and we're going back there for $90,000, which is a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been on Coach Guard about, hey, I think you should keep those buy games, like pay the schools in state first. Last year they played Milwaukee, but it was a bad date, right? It was Milwaukee actually, I think, played on back-to-back nights. Yeah, it's brutal. And those games, 99% chance you're not winning anyway. So for us, yeah, I'd like to go to Madison and play. And it's probably $100,000 game. It should be like 110, but it's probably $100,000 because you can drive there day of if you really want to do it cheap, whatever. I believe we can at least 1.5x that to maybe 2x it if we do it right at the Resch. And then we're going to go back there and play next year as an exhibition game. That was their choice. Like they had the choice of I'd like to go back there and play and collect another check. They're like, this is how we want it to work. Okay, you're kind of doing us a favor coming up to us, so that's what we'll do. Marquette, we're playing an exhibition game, and then they're buying us next year. So we'll play at Fiserv next year.
Regular season?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Let's go.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
So again, every deal is different unto itself. For them, I'm sure they have a pool of money to play those buy games and try and save as much as they can because it's all one pot of money. And I actually understand why he'd want to play that one. I mean, look, who they got beat by was a team that played 3 really electric guards, and it does kind of sort of prepare you for that because that's how Fort Wayne plays. They're hard to play against. They beat Notre Dame last year on the road. Not that Notre Dame was anywhere near Wisconsin, but it does challenge you. So how those negotiations work are really, really interesting. And if you want to indulge, I can take you through like every game we have. But some of it is about dates, some of it is about price, and some of it is about, okay, I'm only trying to figure out selfishly how we can make the most money.
Mhm.
Right? I got to make money. And as I said, our schedule, we tried to space it out. We tried to travel less. That was a big thing from our first year. Can't crisscross the country because then you're like, why are they so bad? Like they're just tired. And then we only play games that we feel like we can be competitive and win, or we're going to make money on it. And we tried to avoid, the Kansas just getting the 40 point, beat down because that really beats you up and it takes a little while to recover from it. So we stayed away from the Michigans, the Louisvilles. I mean, Cincinnati gives me the heebie-jeebies. We're playing them second, but at least it's his first. It's his first year there, and so maybe you think, okay, maybe it won't be that bad. That's the thinking behind it.